Welcome back to Color Class. I'm Sarah.
I'm Lucinda.
And today we are finally going to prove that your undertone, that word, does not belong in color analysis.
Just strike it. Erase it from the color analysis dictionary.
But we're still going to say it. Let's be honest.
Okay, we might be describing things and whatever, but using it as, if you know your undertone, you'll know your season, you'll know. No. How are we going to prove that? First of all, we're going to use science. Because the bottom line is, if you do a section of skin, look at it under a microscope, at no place will you see an undertone. If you tell, a scientist who's looking at your skin under a microscope, what's my undertone? Where's my undertone? Can you show me my undertone? He'll say, what the heck are you talking about? There is no undertone there. It does not physically exist.
But there are a lot of colors that influence what your skin looks like. So that's what we're seeing.
Yes. What we're seeing, probably a better term than colors, you're seeing your pigment composition. Now that's a big one because, the way that your melanin, your types of melanin combine together, it's a recipe. Think of it as a recipe.
Yeah, I like that.
How it mixes together, how much keratin, how much keratin you have in terms of what is part of your recipe.
Yes.
So your pigment composition is a big one.
Oh, can I take us off topic this time?
Yeah.
Have you seen the videos where people eat a bunch of carrots and their skin starts turning orange?
Yeah.
Well, they get tan. So,
but it's weird tan. It's like,
no, it looks pretty good sometimes.
Okay.
If somebody's warm and they are just downing carrots, I'm like, all right, it looks pretty good.
I think it would be a fabulous idea. You guys add comments down below that we do that experiment on Sarah. We'll have her eat a bunch of carrots. What do you think, girl?
There has to be enough comments. Actually, get us to 100,000 likes and I will eat, or 100,000 subscribers, I will eat as many carrots as you want.
100,000.
Yes, 100,000 subscribers. So start sharing these videos.
I will remember something that someone said to me for a lifetime. I'm going to say it right now. May we come down to earth here.
No, we can do this. Right, guys? We can do this.
It's all on you.
All right.
So back to what you're seeing when you actually see skin. Mm-hmm. Notice I didn't say skin tone. I said skin.
We're going to have to figure out how to address us saying undertone because we say it a lot.
Yeah, but it's just not right. We need to say, if we're going to say it, we need to say it correctly. And you guys help us here. Add comments for what you think it should be. Bottom line, pigment composition makes up color, kind of what you see. And it's a recipe. Everybody has a different one. Then light scattering and reflection. So how light interacts with your pigments, your pigment recipe, your collagen, whether your skin is dry or oily, changes things a little bit.
That clarity versus like the softness.
And how thick or thin your epidermis is. So that, are you seeing hemoglobin, from below your skin? Is that influencing your skin color? Might be. It's part of the equation that kind of adds up for this. And then surface transparency. Your stratum corneum can be thicker or thinner, and that too influences your color. So the undertone, what we're calling undertone, is actually a result of all these things put together, and it's not under anything. It's like right there on your face. So it's a result. It's not a thing. And we just need to, think about that as a fact because it is. Sarah once asked me, she goes, how did undertone even become a thing that color analysts relied so heavily on?
Right.
And they borrowed that term, here we go again, from painters.
Where did this all begin?
Where it always begins with us, with painting. And generally, portrait painters, back in the day, when they wanted to give skin the look of skin, they recognized that skin was transparent and that it had a quality where the reflected light wasn't flat. Like, think about yourself when you put on foundation. You got foundation everywhere and you haven't done anything else. You know, that flatness that, well, they wanted to avoid that. They really wanted to make skin look like skin.
There's no blush. There's no contours to the face. There's nothing. Yeah.
Right. But also in many painters, they have this glow. They've managed to create a glow, you know, that makes skin look like skin. They did that by underpainting. Then they called that, they were laying in the undertone.
And you know what's so funny? We now have terms in makeup artistry called underpainting and undertones and things like that. So again, stealing from the painters.
Yeah, those old masters, they are our masters.
Yeah.
So that's where this came from. They started calling that the undertone, and then color analysts were like, "Oh yeah, undertone."
And we're still going to call it undertone, though.
Stop.
We need to figure out a new terminology then. We have to replace it with something. What can we replace
Skin tone.
Skin tone. Yeah, okay. People are still going to equate that to undertone, though.
We need to, let me repeat. We need to eradicate that term from the color analysis glossary because it is so misleading. And, you know, and I can't tell you how many times I go on a bunch of boards. I read what's going on. I try to be fully cognizant of this industry. I cannot tell you how many times I see people draping a small chain of gold and a small chain of silver across their arm and saying, "What's my undertone?"
And whose wrist actually matches their face?
One, that's point one. Point two is your wrist has the thinnest skin.
I know, you see all the veins and everything. You don't see veins all over your face.
This is a different color than this, and right now I don't have any I got nothing on. I got no foundation. I got lipstick, big old lipstick, but no foundation, nothing. Now tell me how my wrist, it's hard to kind of twist it, matches my face. It doesn't, not in any world. So, but this thing of like trying to, am I warm? Am I cool? And doing it with a hunk of jewelry laying here or something. It just doesn't work. So I know you're thinking this because I was very harsh about the gold, silver jewelry across her wrist. Mm-hmm. I know I was, but sometimes you got to be harsh to get it in, to really embed that kind of thinking. Where is skin tone vitally important in your color analysis? I'm going to tell you. In the 4 seasons, I'm going to go back to the 4 seasons.
Yeah.
In the 4 seasons, you don't really need it. You're looking for light versus deep, warm versus cool. Most of the time, you're looking at hair, unless, of course, you're bald or something. Bottom line, you don't really need it there. Where you need it is when you get into the 12 palettes, the 16 palettes. You need all of your color points in order to get a really good analysis. Why is that? Everything, color is relative. Color is relative. So when you start thinking about, well, are you a soft summer? Are you a clear spring? All these things. In order to really get you to that point, you have to go through a bunch of questions and answer them. And that requires your skin color, your eye color, and your mother color, your hair color. So I like to think, and this is my nomenclature, this is my terminology, I don't know if anybody else is using it or not, but I like to think, well, I know you are, but I like to think of hair as the driver.
Yes.
It just kind of drives us through those first 2 dominant characteristics too,
Absolutely.
But we add the others. For example, let me give you an example of how that works. So someone has golden, reddish, blondish hair, really gold.
I wonder what season they're going to be.
So we got to figure out their spring. Oh, yay, their spring. Whatever. Then you want to know which spring they are, because in the 16 palette system, They could be one of 4. In the system where we add neutrals, they could be one of 20. And then you go off on customize, and then it's all them. But the bottom line is you're going to look at their skin and their eye color. Well, their skin. Let's say that skin is very warm. It's picking up, luminosity from the hair. It's it's warm.
All that gold.
Yeah. Let's say their eyes are warm green, like a hazel green. Mm-hmm. So you got warm, warm, warm. With 3 warms, you can be assured that the subseason of that spring is what?
Warm.
Thank you. Now, let's say they're all mixed up. Let's say you take an autumn, like this one. Their hair color is deep and warm, no doubt about it. Okay. So you get them into autumn. Mm-hmm. Their skin tone is light and neutral, possibly leaning cool.
Ooh.
Their eyes are flat out neutral, gray, green, blue, a combination thereof, and they shift. What do we have here? When you have a crazy mixed up girl like Sara,
you have a Sara.
You have a soft
Sara.
A soft Sara. No, a soft autumn. Those characteristics of all the stuff, that's how you get to adding the subseasons for the 6. I'm going to call it the 16 palette because we know 12 palette is missing stuff. We can do a whole show about that if we haven't already.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we've done a couple.
Well, it never hurts to reiterate. So your hair is your driver. Your skin is your reflector because your skin is reflecting the color of your hair. Mm-hmm. And it's adding more information to get you into the right season. And your eyes, I like to think of them as a contrast or a counterpoint. So they will help you get into whether you're warm or whether you're clear.
Clear. Yeah.
So again, I like to think of those as a contrast or a counterpoint. Mm-hmm. And then we have formulas for, which of these characteristics for which of these color points give you which of the 16 seasons.
So wrapping this all up, we are saying skin tone, I'm not going to say undertone.
Thank you.
Skin tone is an optical relationship based on your hair pretty much. So it's that optical relationship that we see, and that's what we're trying to explain.
Yeah, and you see a bunch of different stuff here. Right. There's a bunch of stuff going on, here that makes you this color. It is this color that you see, though. You're not seeing something underneath. You're not seeing something magical. You're not seeing something that nobody else understands. It's this color. You could go into a Pantone book or the paint section in Lowe's and find a chip.
Yeah.
A color. It's a color. Mm-hmm. So it's one of 3. We've also done a great video on if you are really kind of struggling with your wardrobe, if you make it basically your hair color, your skin tone, and your eye color, you're golden.
Yeah, you got your color points right there.
So what we're saying is, don't. And people make themselves crazy.
Figuring out their undertone.
Go look at the post. Doesn't matter. What color's your face?
Yeah.
That's it.
What color's your face?
We will entitle this, what color is your face?
I know, our big logo across the top. Oh, goodness. Oh,
sorry.
Yes. So,
sorry.
Yeah. What color is your face? End of story. Thank you for joining us today. Glad you were here.
Wait. We're not. It's not the end of it because we promised proof.
Oh, yes.
Now, I'm going to give you proof that your skin tone without your hair doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do it with this girl. Now, if you look at this girl, she's got, on one side, she's very warm, and her skin tone is warm, right? Mm-hmm. Looks warm. Warmer than the girl next to her who's got no color in the hair, and her skin tone is not as warm, right? However, she is photoshopped. What we did was the only thing changed on this girl. The only thing, not her skin color, nothing. We changed her hair. And by changing her hair, we changed the color you perceive of her skin. That is a painting term called simultaneous contrast, nod to those artists out there. you changed her face color.
Surprise.
And that's what happens. And that's why, for many reasons, we are absolutely against doing color analysis without hair color present.
Right.
Because unless you plan to shave your head when you go out, and that's generally how you're going to wear it, it's not going to matter. You can see, changed her. You can see her skin tone is the same, when you split her. But when you show her hair as red gold, she goes all warm. She gets all warm. That's because your eyes see things that we aren't.
Good old rods and cones.
Yeah. But, it's like, Sarah, we don't, in the color analysis world, people aren't
flat.
They're not. And as analysts, you've got to take into consideration that your eyes are doing some crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. And they do a lot of things that we don't count for.
Wrapping this up, what color is your face?
Yeah, what's your face color?
Thank you for joining us today. I know we are super goofy, but that really is, at the end of the day, we're not talking undertones anymore. We're saying skin tone. Is that...
We can say skin tone.
Unless you have a better idea. Down in the comments.
Because what color is your face? It just doesn't have the same ring to it.
No, not the same. But thank you. We hope to see you down in the comments with some better ideas. Lastly, if you want to find us on Patreon, Instagram, Facebook, social medias, you want to reach out, comment down below. Do all those things and subscribe. But links are down in the description. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Sarah.
I'm Lucinda.
This has been another color class, and we'll see you in our next video.